The Face-Off, Friday night. Charles Romshana. Watch your language.
Why?
You are in trouble. Your teacher is watching and he isn't very happy. So he's ticking. For Baguma, he may have failed some now. But get to the gist. I need to understand is actually, because I'm trying to interrogate the mind of the police, that gets into a fight with a woman. And then the next day does not improve the job. And then the next day gets into a fight with journalists. Because for the love of God, if you're fighting Chivazo, you know you're going to be on the screens of TV. So you're saying
they are determined to ruin the image of the president?
I don't know. I'm asking, I'm interrogating that.
So they are mutinying.
Chaz, you are a friend to General Kaihura.
Are you dealing with police or are you dealing with something else?
I don't know. The last time I checked, the last interactions with the police were between you and Kihura.
It could be Mungikis in police uniform.
Come on. You are really making it horrible. Chaz.
When you say what's wrong with the police force, is there a problem with the police force? Are you dealing with the police?
That is my assumption.
What is if you have to use the contextualized definition of police? You know, some diseases are infectious. the contextualized definition of the Uganda police. You see, you are dealing with a larger tragedy, the Museveni tragedy, and the collapse of state institution or vulgarization of the state institutions. I will give an example. Mr. Museveni wanted to enforce tax correction.
His Excellency President Museveni.
Mr. Museveni.
No, but you know he has transited. He's no longer president. He has now become Mr. Museveni.
For the two of you, he's your uncle. Go on.
Mr. Museveni,
his legitimacy is also being eroded.
Can I be protected? Because when I had the
just go on
to listen.
That's what I should clap for. You had the dispute.
Just go on.
So Mr. Museveni wanted to enforce tax correction, but using violence. To enforce tax correction, but using violence. And whom did he deploy? He deployed Mr. Kare Kayihura.
General.
He deployed Mr. Kare Kayihura to enforce tax compliance, but using violence. What force was deployed? They didn't construct a force. They didn't use police. They used the army. The army, the NRA. Now it's called UPDF. The NRA is the one that was used to enforce tax compliance, but through violence. What was the modus operandi? Executions. They executed people. They find you smuggling a kilo of sugar, they execute you. That was it. And he did that mission. So is it appropriate? But I want to tell me anywhere on earth, the countries that use military to enforce tax compliance. Are you sure that those soldiers who are enforcing tax correction, tax compliance, are schooled in taxation? But they did it. We have that, but as we speak right now, go at Namangwe, you'll find the army. Not police. Not even a force. Go at least KCCA as an authority, as an enforcement unit. Whether they are soldiers or what, but they are in KCCA uniforms. Some yellow. But these ones are the army. Shooting civilians, allegedly, for smuggling. Now, the same Mr. Kare Kayihura was in Congo. And there are two accusations that we have there. One is that Mr. Thomas Rubanga recruited child soldiers. Now, the holding of the International Court of Justice, I think even the International Criminal Court, is that an occupation force that does not stop the commission of a crime is guilty of that crime. So Mr. Kare Kayihura did not stop Thomas Lubanga from recruiting child soldiers. What did he do in Imbare the other day? He had, not only did he recruit child, now crime preventers, but he has had the president to officially pass them out, children. As you know, we have not even defined.
I think I have those pictures. I'll have them run at
yes,
some point.
we have not even defined what these militias are going to do. But the one who looked on as Thomas Lubanga committed that crime of recruiting child soldiers, not only has he recruited them, he singled them out for Mr. Museveni to pass them out. And pass them out. Children. I have even observed them, they are not even putting on shoes. Children from school. So I'm wondering, how are they going to enforce? Now, when Madam Hillary Clinton, then as Secretary of State in Congo, said rape was a war tool, was a war weapon. And she campaigned hard against rape as a war weapon. Now, when you go to Congo, there was, I think, the highest proliferation of rape as a war tool. It was very vicious violence. Now, in other words, actions on a woman, adverse actions on a woman are a tool against society. Subdue society. You act on a woman adversely. They did it in Congo. So I'm not surprised that they are beginning to do it here. Because the other end they did it.
It could be the reverse. It could be that the women are also stripping for the police as a way of scare.
You see her there. Is she stripping for the police? You see her.
Okay. Like Baguma said, some of them are really indefensible.
No, but you see, in my view, this is right.
No, they are dressing her.
No, what I'm saying, you see, in my view, this is even right, considering their history. They are going to do worse. What they are doing is testing. This is Omrozo. How are you receiving it? Is it having impact? They are carrying out a study. Experts are in the laboratory, they are carrying out a study. Is it having impact? And indeed, yes, it's having impact because a lot of energy is spent on it. We are discussing it, it's boggling our minds. You know, I'm having problems with English. Boggling what? Whichever. Our minds. So, when you see this and you see families being decimated in Acholi, in Lango, by the gunships, by all sorts of, when you see have mass graves in the Rwenzolis, this is nothing compared to the other ones. This is nothing compared to what took place in Congo. We were there as an occupation force. By the way, Bemba, who brought Mr. Museveni's stick, you remember? Bemba, we are facilitating him. What is he facing in ICC? Rape. So what we now should be interrogating is, what do you get when you are subduing society? What do you get when you are preying on the woman? Adversely. But for doing it, they will do it because they know why they are doing it. And
of course, Charles, you want to assume that this is not a mistake. This is not.
It's deliberate.
No, Charles.
What's
Because
the
from
problem?
looking at those officers, I have a feeling, and I want to believe. Of course, one, I think as a public relations tool, my friend Enanga and his team completely mishandled this.
No,
If they had come to TV, Charles, hold. As a student of public relations, as a
You are
teacher
still
of
a
public
student. That's the point I'm
relations, if I had this on my hands, one, I would concede that there was a mistake down on the ground. Two,
Who is
I would stamp my foot, I would box the table and swear that these police officers would be arraigned and punished for having mishandled this. Because all they could do is get a pair
Mr.
of,
Chivazo,
what are
Mr.
those things
Chivazo.
called that they use on our hands?
Mr. Chivazo,
Pingu-
the Uganda, the former
handcuffs. If they had used the handcuffs, they would not have a hassle with this woman,
Mr. Chivazo.
whatever they wanted.
Mr. Chivazo,
This is a public relations goof that the police
So
has
that
to
shows
pay for
you
now.
it is deliberate.
Mr.
No,
Chivazo,
it is not.
Mr.
I
Chivazo.
suppose.
They had a better way to do it. They
Yes,
chose not to
Jazz.
do it.
Mr. Chivazo, the former Uganda police force of Odomel, of Chisembo, the former, and as it transits into some force, because suppose we are yet to have the definition of this force, has elements you could appoint inspector generals of police. They can't be. So Mr. Kari Kaihura is there for a purpose. Actually, before he even went there, he was decorated, was given some title. So it's for a purpose, and it's him who knows. Because you see, they have done it, they have the state. It's not easy to capture the state. They destroy the state. And they did very horrible things. They subdued the spirits. The Ugandan spirit is dead, is subdued. And you do a lot of operations to do that. So when you see someone, because if you're talking about a rational mind, you wouldn't kill a kid, you wouldn't sacrifice a kid for wealth, would you? But others do it. It's not because they are not rational, it's because they have that knowledge. But it's adverse knowledge. Adverse knowledge. Sacrifice children or kill children, and then you subdue society. So you do this to a woman, and society is subdued.
Just let me
if you're talking about...
you're not accusing the state of sacrificing children.
What?
I'm hoping.
There has been the highest level of proliferation of child sacrifice towards elections.
In this regime.
And it has been.
No.
The regime is there.
You cannot accuse the state of doing this. That people do it is true.
Well, you see.
But that the state, no.
Is it being
No, I would say
no,
no.
not the state.
Where are you coming from? Where are you coming from? It's you talked about the state. Me, I have said there has been the highest level of proliferation of child sacrifice, which is a fact, and towards elections. I've not gone into the definition of the one who does it. It is established by courts of law. By courts of law, it's already established that businessmen do it. We are yet to see politicians do it. But that was not the gist of my debate. Now, if you are talking about rights, a time has come, and the time is now, when dead bodies will have more rights than the living. You remember, we are discussing here, conversing around here, over a colonel who slapped the mogul attendant. They call it a mortuary attendant, because he threw the dead body of a relative on the floor. Hey, he slapped him. Really? Because he couldn't believe that the other person, now who is deceased, can be thrown on the floor. But that's how they handle them, as dead bodies in the... I met the other day on Chireka Road, this guy who takes the dead bodies to the KCC burial ground. The way he treats them, it's like any other... But some of these people, they will give more rights and dignity to the dead than to the living. Now, Mr. Museveni has, he said somewhere, I think in Luero, that me, they can't capture me. I would rather commit suicide. I would rather shoot myself. You remember? Yes. And he's in that. So Uganda has never seen a hopeless Mr. Museveni. No. Uganda has been seeing a hopeful Mr. Museveni. Even when he has 20 soldiers, he's about to win. He has that hope. Even when he's badly beaten, he has that hope. Now, we are seeing a different Mr. Museveni.
Hold on, Chaz. I'll give you the Museveni that you think is actually hopeless. Kasozi, if I can have the president in Katomi and his comments, I am not sure that you have read President Museveni.
As they look for him, so his is they hope the I will die with someone syndrome. If it means dying, I'm going to die, fine, but I will die with someone. Now, the moment you reach that stage, you'll see what and that's why you have that narrative of I will not hand over power. And it's a consciousness.
You see, every time, Chaz, and I don't remember the quotation, but I know that Arthur Koestler actually brings it out in one of his writings, that when the state is threatened, all means are sanctified. And he lists the means. Actually, it is the church. He says that when the church is threatened, are you suggesting that the state is under that?
Oh yes, because you see,
the President Museveni I see dancing with musicians in Munyonyo now, talking with people. He's comfortable. He's in charge.
He's a deceptive one. Mr. I was still on the floor. Let me finish this point. Mr. Vaguma talked about running away from Amin soldiers. But he has not told you that Amin soldiers massacred them. Now, let's go and look at the history of Amin, and you show us the mass graves of Amin. For the nine years Amin was around, where are his mass graves? But Go to Gwenzori, mass graves. Go to northern Uganda, mass graves.
Yes, sir.
Mukura, human beings are boiled, are roasted in a wagon. So you, as Baguma rightly observes, that these are going to continue. Yes, they are going to continue because it's policy.
I'll take a break. When I return, I'll return with those pictures with President Museveni at Katomi. I think Charles is misreading him. The president you're talking about seems to be in charge of his world.